Scorpio. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for February of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller of Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas of San Francisco.
Well, Scorpio, this month's themes include home and communication, especially miscommunication. And if that's gotten you into trouble this month or in the previous month, lots of retrogrades going on, then we would love to help you with that in a natal and transit reading where you can share completely, because it's a super private conversation with no judgment. And you'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, Scorpio, we have been seeing Ceres retrograde for several months. It's now direct, moving forward, and thus I think a lot of people have been experiencing entanglements in their financial life and having to get back to fundamentals, remind themselves of what really matters and what they really value, and all that stuff is finally starting to come clear, come disentangled, and a lot of people are figuring out how to move forward. You can find out a lot more about this Ceres retrograde period in the video we made about it in our last month's playlist. But for now, suffice it to say that things are coming untangled, and you're going to be able to return to looking at your shared finances with any partners that you have that you share monies with, and to get them sorted in a good way. So that is in the near future. It's coming right up over the horizon, giving us all a lot of relief, I think. Hey, Julia, you've got Mars, Mercury, and Venus activity for the Scorpios of the world. What's that?
I sure do. Well, hey, Scorpio, like Jamie said, there's a ton of third house activity, meaning focus on your communication, your neighborhood and neighbors, and even your siblings too, and writing too, if you like to write. So we'll start with Mars, the planet of action and activity, and wherever Mars is where we're very driven that month. So it's going to be in your third house all month. Mars in the third can mean that since the third house represents your local surroundings and community, you spend a lot of time this month buzzing about your neighborhood, doing lots of trips around town, for example, or maybe visiting a local beach or state park. Mars in the third house can be a bit of a contentious time, especially when it comes to communication, where you might be a little bit sharper than usual, a little bit more direct. So as long as you're aware of it and try to be a bit more diplomatic, that can really help too. And Mars in the third time can be a conflict prone time with your siblings as well as with neighbors. And Mercury, the planet of communication, starts the month retrograde in the third house. So this really emphasizes miscommunication for you, Scorpio. Having people, walk away from the same conversation and having very different meanings of what was said. By the third, Mercury does go direct. It does take about a week or two after that for Mercury to really gain speed and have the full retrograde cycle over. But, Mercury in the third can be a really wonderful time for writing too. So this could be a good month to get a lot of writing done, whether that's at school, in your professional life, or even your own personal writing. Then on the 14th, Mercury moves into your fourth house of family, home, and your past. So with Mercury in the fourth, you could be spending a lot of the rest of the month, focusing on communication with your family members, maybe reaching out to your mom and dad more. Maybe it's time to start calling them back. And then Mercury in the fourth house can also be a good time for thinking and strategizing about your home life and domestic life, whether you want to move somewhere new or do things to change up your existing home to make it better. And Mercury in the fourth can be a time where you're very preoccupied with matters that happened in the past, because that's what the fourth house rules. Now, finally, Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, so she's everybody's favorite, has just finished a 6-week retrograde cycle, which technically ended on January 29th. But it does take a little while for Venus to pick up speed and fully resolve that retrograde cycle, a couple of weeks, I'd say. So if you've been dealing with a lot of relationship issues, dealing with maybe exes coming out of the woodwork for the past 6 weeks, those issues are going to slowly get better better. And Venus is going to be direct pretty much all month in your third house too. So Venus adds a little bit more diplomacy to your words. You know, Mars is in there too. So you got a little bit of a push and pull energy with how you communicate, being very kind of direct and assertive on one hand, but also knowing how to sort of soften it and choose the right words on the other. Venus in the third is a wonderful time for also reaching out and getting along well with people in your local community and even siblings too, which can be very nice. So a little bit of push and pull with Mars and Venus in the third house, you know, a little bit of feistiness with maybe also a little bit of sweetness in there.
Yep, and that's absolutely the communication stuff that we're talking about. So I want to segue to Juno, because Juno and Venus are the two relationship planets. Venus has more to do with the warmth, the love, the connection. Venus can also be really sexual. Juno is more about the partnership, the commitment, the serious relationship. And Juno is also like your social director, you know, of your life. And she starts out the month at the end of your third house, and then very quickly moves into your fourth house of home and family, domestic life, heritage, and roots, where she begins to bring your attention to the domestic sphere of your marriage. So you may be asking yourself, are there any changes that I want to make around my home that will support my marriage better? This may also draw your attention to the foundation of your business partnerships, foundation being like a fourth house thought. And Juno definitely governs business partnerships as well as personal ones. So you may be asking yourself, you know, what is the foundation of this business relationship all about, and how can it be strengthened? So those are some really good thoughts to explore while Juno is traversing through your fourth house, which it's going to be doing for the rest of the month. The next thing I want to tell you about is the two moons of the month, beginning with the first one, which is actually on January 31st, but it's going to permeate the beginning of February. So here it is, Sun and Moon in Aquarius together in a new moon in that fourth house of home and family of yours. New moons signify new beginnings. They're great times to plant seeds. This particular one being in Aquarius, the sign of genius, also in a square with Uranus, ruler of Aquarius, doubles up on that theme of genius. So we're calling this one diligently cultivate the seeds of genius. And so the diligence comes in because of Saturn's presence. Saturn's been passing along your fourth house for some time, and you might be feeling kind of oppressed or limited or restricted in your home life. And so a new moon like this with Uranus involved could bring ideas for changes that can be made, possibly even in the form of, you know, renovations that will help your home life to be a much better nest for you. So be open to those ideas during this moon. The second moon that I want to tell you about is the full moon this month, which is happening in Leo right here on the 16th. And there it falls in your 10th house of career and authority, fathering and being fathered. And this one we're calling Release Addiction, Become Radiant. The moon in Leo wants to shine, wants to have fun, wants to party and play and radiate the joy of life. So you'd like to be doing this in your career, actually, because that's where this moon falls, in the 10th house of career. You'd like to be radiating and glowing your authority into the world. However, this moon has some requirements. Most particularly, the South Node in Scorpio is saying that you may have some addictions to, shall we say, like being noticed or being seen or being right or being the person who, you know, has the right kind of attention on them. But also what we're supposed to be doing is embracing this North Node in Taurus with Ceres, and embracing healthier ways of being. Most particularly for you, Scorpio, this is showing up in your partnerships. So let go of ego and egoic habits, and instead embrace good partnership behavior and watch for the fruits of this to appear in your career arena, where you will find that you can be more radiant and more shiny as a result. Sounds like pretty good results to me. So and you can find out a lot more about those 2 moons on our monthly forecast page on our website, Pandora Astrology. So now I want to talk about the seasonal shift. So you can see right here, February 16th, the sun is finishing up Aquarius, and by the 18th, it has moved into Pisces. So we're talking a new season, the season of Pisces, which begins to shift the energy into your 5th house of fun, pleasure, play, entertainment, trips to Vegas. And so as the sun moves into a new house, it's really good to shift your attention to that arena. And this is because sunlight attention is like sunlight. Wherever you shine the light of your high quality attention, things can grow and you can grow in confidence. Now, the great thing about this transit is that the sun rules the 5th house and so loves to be in the 5th house. And this can be a time of really bolstering your confidence. And part of how that can happen in Pisces is because you are behaving and feeling more compassionate towards others, and maybe letting go of some of the characteristic paranoia that can dog you at times. So this then has the result of increasing your confidence and your benevolent aura. So this is a really wonderful transit of the sun for you. And it's a great time to just, play unselfconsciously like a child. Okay, that's the good stuff that we have for you, Scorpio. Hope you enjoyed it. You'll find your horoscope. If this was your sun sign, you'll find your rising sign horoscope, or the reverse. If this is your rising sign, you'll find your sun sign horoscope on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And you'll find it in the navigation bar, horoscopes. And you can get a reading with us by checking our services page, get a reading, it says on the nav bar. And also you can find classes to take as well. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.